In today's video, we are going to look at how to create a Canadian style resume, what to include and what not to include. So you want to stick up to the very end of this video so that you can learn more. Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, my name is Ivan Tali and this is Travel with Ivan Tali, your #1 travel YouTube channel. And on this channel, we talk about all things travel, visas, immigration, working abroad, and studying abroad. So if any of those topics sound exciting to you, you want to hit the subscribe button below. And once you have done so, please remember to hit the notification bell as well so that every single time I shoot a new video, you do not miss out. So without much further ado, let's dive in and look at how you can create a Canadian style resume. So we are going to start by looking at the don'ts, yeah? So we all know that to get your resume noticed by more and more Canadian recruiters, it must meet the Canadian style resume. And although there are several Canadian style resumes out there, they also share some common standard, and that is what we shall be looking at today. So the #1 thing we are going to look at are what are those things that you should not put into your Canadian style resume. So #1, you want to make sure that your Canadian resume is focused on the factors that are related to the job at hand. That is the job that you are applying for. So focus only on showcasing your strengths, your achievements, and your past experiences, which will help you to deliver on the position you are currently applying for. So do not include in your Canadian style resume things like your age, your tribe, your ethnic or cultural background. Do not include your physical features unless, of course, let's say this particular job was targeting, let's say, people with some disability, or people with disability were being given a preference, then it may make sense to mention, but otherwise you have no business indicating your physical features. No one cares about your marital status. Do not include whether or not you have children, and do not include your sexual orientation or preferences. Now let's take a look at tailoring your Canadian resume for the position that you are applying for. It's very important that when you are trying to get a job in Canada, you tailor your resume for each position you are applying for, especially your most recent work experience. So carefully look at the job posting and let your Canadian style resume speak to how your experience matches those that are specific to the requirements of the job. So usually when a job advert is put out or a job posting is put out, the list of requirements are in order of priority and order of importance. So make sure that, and usually it starts with the most important requirements are at the top, and the higher up a requirement is on the list, the more important that requirement is, and the lower down a requirement is on the list, the lesser important it is. So make sure that your Canadian resume speaks to those higher ranked skills or job requirements. And now let's take a look at the length of your Canadian style resume. So this is one of the most frequently asked questions on this channel. How long should my resume be? So generally, try to your level best to fit the requirements of the job into your resume in one page if it is possible. And especially if you are a junior professional or somebody who's just fresh out of school or college, it doesn't make sense to have a resume that is more than one page long. And so you should try as much as possible to condense the information that you need to present to your recruiter in one page, unless, of course, it's going to lead to you sacrificing all the important details. But if you really have to go on the higher side, then maybe 2 pages. But if worst came to the worst and you had to err on one side, it's better to focus on giving quality details, achievements, and past relevant experiences instead of submitting a shorter resume that will sacrifice on this. Your social media. Some Canadian employers or HR recruiters may choose to cross-reference your resume with your online profiles and other social media, such as your blogs, your YouTube channel, your LinkedIn profile, your Facebook account, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. So there's two things. If there's anything you don't want your potential employer to see, never post it online, or if you must post it online, don't make it publicly accessible. Let's talk about the format of your Canadian style resume. So the main thing you want to focus on as you prepare your Canadian style resume that will help you getting a job is to prepare a resume that is ATS optimized. So ATS is basically an applicant tracking system, and usually these are softwares or tools that are used by HR recruiters to scan and score candidate resume against certain preset criteria to determine best fit candidates for an advertised position. It's therefore important that your resume or your CV is formatted in a way that will ensure it successfully passes through whatever ATS tool it goes through. And that's the only way it will get into the hand of a human recruiter, and that's what you want. So for example, a given ATS system may be set for scoring candidate resumes against a particular keyword, for example, a degree in computer science. So if the answer is set to computer science or another related degree, the system will either automatically reject your resume if it doesn't have computer science as a keyword or other related keywords, or it will lower your candidate score. So it depends on how this ATS is set. It's therefore important that the tool will allow your resume through to a human recruiter. And for that to happen, it must meet a certain minimum score, which brings me to the next point. Take a good look at the job posting phrasing and imitate the language used in the job advert to tailor your resume. So for example, if the employer is looking for someone who pays close attention to detail, make sure you describe yourself as this person. And if you use a synonym of attention to detail skills such as keen, and you do not include the exact words pays attention to detail, then chances are the ATS resume tool may also not pick up your resume because it was looking for someone who pays close attention to detail. It's therefore important to make sure that you include as much as possible the important original phrases that are used in the job posting at least once, just to be on the safe side. Let's look at the font. You do not want to become complicated. It's just a resume that is going to go through an ATS system, and you want to make sure your resume goes through the ATS system and lands on the hands of a recruiter. So I would advise you to use simple, professional looking fonts for your Canadian style resume. Okay, let's talk about proofreading, which is the most important bit. I cannot tell you how many emails I receive. Hey, Eva, please check my resume for me. And even the email body itself has grammatical errors. The CV has grammatical errors. The cover letter has grammatical errors. So make sure your Canadian style resume is checked for any errors before you send it. And here we are talking about both grammatical errors as well as accuracy on other general matters, such as make sure you clearly and accurately spell the organization's name, job titles, dates which you worked, and other spellings. Yeah. In addition to using spell checking tools such as Grammarly and MS Word and all other computer tools that we use to check our work, go through your CV manually and check for any errors that there might be. So guys, that's it for today in terms of how to create a Canadian style resume that will help you find a job in Canada. Make sure to stay tuned for the next video where we will look at sample examples of Canadian style resumes and we'll tailor them to specific jobs and just see how that works in practicality. Well, guys, that's it for today in terms of creating a Canadian style resume that will get you a job in Canada. Stay tuned for the next video where we are going to look at sample styles that fit into a Canadian resume. As usual, if you found this video helpful, useful, please remember to give it a thumbs up, leave a sweet comment below, and share it with all other people that might also find it useful. Thank you for staying up to the very end of this video. I definitely look forward to meeting you on the next one. Bye-bye.